Loading. Oh, hi. Welcome to the CanadaGuns Talk Show, episode 87, Bill's C-71 Reactions. I am your host, Dick Rover, here to talk to you about how everything is going to be all right. Not. Say hello, everybody else.
Hi, everybody else.
The sky
Hello.
There's a bunch of people here. You all know it. Has anybody done anything gun-related lately? Just right off the bat. Let's go through this quickly because we're going to fucking speculate.
Since the last time we were on, I went shooting.
Good.
There was that. It was my birthday.
Happy birthday.
A couple weeks ago, and I always go shooting on my birthday, so I went shooting, and I had fun, and it was beautiful. It was like fucking 29 degrees and sunny that day. And then as soon as I got home, it started pouring fucking rain. So it's a good thing I got to go to the range when the weather was good. And then I very seriously debated buying a Ruger PCC and ended up not because I have other things to do with my money that are somewhat, some of it is more important and others of it are absolutely not any remotely anywhere near as important. These are a piece of fur. There's a piece of like cat fur in front of my camera. Yeah, I wasted like $400 on manga at Anime North.
What fucking weeb?
That's why I didn't buy a Ruger PCC. I wasted too much money on stupid weeb shit. But I went shooting and then cleaned all of my guns. Yeah.
Good.
That'd be a good idea. I should do that.
No, cleaning guns is for the weak.
No, I did that. I was at that open house. So I brought my AR and shotgun and pistol, and they all got used a whole ton. So I'm not in my regular space because it's too hot right now. It's like 32 in Edmonton, and upstairs in my office it's 35. So
that sounds like a you problem.
Yeah, I need to put my
why
my
does
wall
no
AC.
one in the West have air conditioning?
I have one of those wall warts. I just need to install it. It feels too early to put it in right now. So I'm not there.
Also, because it only gets hot for about a week, so why bother?
It's May though, and it's 32.
Look, I'm trying to be positive.
Global warming.
Well,
AC.
It
Anyways,
stays pretty hot down here, so
yeah. Saturday was the Chaz open house, so we had a whole bunch of new shooters, a whole bunch of people who were looking at the range, checking it out. Got them to shoot a 3-gun course. That was what I was responsible for, as well as some of the guys too. And then after that, I found out that there was a pistol match in Bonnyville, so I went and shot that because 12 hours on the range wasn't enough for a weekend, so I had to go some more.
Obviously, we got to pump those numbers up.
Got to pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers. It was good. The Bonnyville ran they've got like an IPSC match. A guy who puts it on is an IPSC RO, and so it was a pretty creative stage design, and I got to shoot my shadow a little bit, so lots of fun. Did pretty well. I took first in production. That was good.
Of course. Oh, Andriel, right?
It was a small match. Oh yeah. I think so like the guy who was running the tablet, like I mess with him sometimes, and I keep spelling his name wrong. I keep calling it Mark with a C instead of a K. And so he's like, he asked me, he had the tablet in his hand. He's like, how do you spell your last name again? And I spelled it for him. And then it was because he had totally butchered my first name on purpose. And then he had the nerve to ask me about my last name. And I don't know. Yeah, it was good. It was a good match. It's fun. Now I need to get my crap ready for the Chaz 2-day charity match in June here. It's coming up quick. I should put my magwell back on my shadow.
You should make it as racy as possible.
Well, I took it off because I was shooting IPSC, but now that I'm going to go shoot some 3-gun again, I can run the magwell. So,
is IPSC the one they be chat if you use 10 over magazines with more than 10 rounds?
IPSC production, you're not allowed to. Or IPSC Canada entirely, you're not allowed to use anything more than 10 rounds.
Oh, that sounds to me like a you problem again.
Yeah, I got mags for that. I got mags on mags. I got mags for IPSC. I got mags for 3-gun.
I remember seeing your post about your magazine drawer.
It's too much. It really is too much. But now I'm gonna chuck on the different grip panels and the different magwell on my shadow, and I should probably clean my AR because it had like, I don't know, 1,000 rounds through it in a day. Should be fine actually. I don't know. Anywho, that's what I've been up to.
Thanks, Adriel.
Good
Lecture, have you
lord.
done anything?
I've just been working on my open carry guns, so
Oh, but do you lift, bro? But do you lift?
occasionally.
Obviously.
Occasionally.
No, I haven't
Okay,
done
thank you
anything
for that
related.
addition.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I actually did some gun-related stuff for once. Cabela's had its customer appreciation weekend sale, so I went and I bought some AR ammo, some 22 ammo, because apparently having like 10,000 rounds is just not enough. And I bought some extra pistol mags for the WK that I don't own, for the AR that I own, right? Because I had like 2 pistol mags, and I just figured I need more. Because 10 rounders are fun.
You sold your WK?
No, I just don't own a WK. You know,
I thought you owned one.
no, I don't, but I don't. I don't.
Ah, yes.
I don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
I get where we're going here. Okay.
Yeah, we don't know. No one owns anything here. We just own restricted. And then I decided to buy this for a shotgun that I don't own either. It's a Packmeyer pistol grip for 870s, because if I ever find one of those 8.5-inch Grizzlies again, I'm going to put this together, and I'm either going to make a restricted Grizzly, or I am definitely going to bolt it to a rifle. Because it must happen at least once. And I also bought some ammo for an SKS that I don't own, because I figure I might as well try it once. I have been shitting on the auto garbage rods all my gun life, and maybe I will finally be able to speak with a certain degree of knowledge as to whether or not they are as awful as I always say they are. I think they are as awful as I always say they are, but whatever.
Well, I mean, if you really want to complete it, make sure you get a Tapco stock. And what else do you need? Tapco stock.
I need to grind off the bayonet.
Grind off the bayonet lug. Put a Barska red dot on there, too.
Yes. That's true. And I am trying my darnest not to buy a Stack 10, but it's tempting.
Resistance is futile on those.
Dude, I just need my Tika to move. Honest to God, if my Tika moves, I'll buy it. I mean, it'll be a $500 fucking purchase for me, because the fucking Tika is. I mean, I'm pretty sure at this point I'm gonna have to let it go for like a lot less than what I paid for it. But whatever, I just need it out, because I can't have a 308 bolt action and a 308 semi. It just bothers me.
Well, especially if you go for like a really nice barrel on the Stag and it's accurate, then yeah, the bolt. Why?
Yeah, the bolt. Why?
I'll give you 2 packs of darts and a Mickey a crown.
Fuck. That's tempting.
What are you trying to sell? What's the Tika going for? And what is it?
I have it for like below maybe like 70% of retail. It's just it's too niche. It's a left-handed heavy barrel 308 Tika varmint rifle in an MDT chassis with an MDT stock and an MDT rail and a bunch of MDT mags. And
you need to find like a PRS group to sell that on.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Some lefty out there would love that for PRS.
Oh, and it would 100% work perfectly for him. The only thing that somebody might consider doing is threading the muzzle, but that's really not that necessary.
Yep.
But that's it. Oh, holy shit. What's going on in the talk? Oh, okay, there it is. Other than that, nothing else. Bill C-71 is through. Crazy, tell us what the fuck it means.
Okay, fantastic. So what happened is Bill C-71 passed the Senate with no amendments whatsoever. So much for the independent caucus being independent. They actually vote for the government's bills more often than the Liberal caucus in the Senate does now. 95% versus 78%. But what it means is we're still waiting for it to get royal assent, which is literally just the governor general goes and signs it and says, by power of the queen vested in me, I declare this law, which will probably happen this week. What it means is nothing yet because it hasn't been declared, it hasn't been signed into royal assent. But when it does, you will have to apparently phone in to get a transfer number every time you want to transfer a non-restricted firearm. According to legislation, transferring a non-restricted firearm includes borrowing it, which means technically I will have to call if I ever want to borrow my parents' guns, despite the fact that we live in the same house. I feel like doing that anyways just to be a pain in the ass. It means you will not need an ATT to go to the gun range, but you will to go to the gunsmith, gun show, gun shop, or border crossing. It means that they will check your entire life for mental health problems and criminal problems. Now, the criminal problems I don't think anyone has a problem with, but someone being treated for depression 20 years ago should not affect their ability to get a gun license 20 years later, and it will now. The CZ-858s that were prohibited by the RCMP in 2014 are being banned again. Same with the Swiss Arms rifles. Those are also being banned again. And it removes the ability for Parliament to declare a firearm non-restricted while still maintaining Parliament's ability to declare a firearm as restricted or prohibited, which means that after a year of Ralph Goodale saying that they are removing political interference from the classification system, that was a crock of fucking bullshit, especially given the fact that there are now rumors that they're going to use the supposed automatic grandfathering of prohibited firearms into the 12.9 prohibited category this bill creates in order to prohibit AR-15 rifles sometime next week at a women's conference in the most obnoxious, politically interfering virtue signal we've ever seen. Now, the reason that this is still going on is because everyone's been going at this from the wrong fucking angle. Everyone has been attacking this supposed order in council coming up, which, by the way, was first announced by a member of parliament who was kicked out of the Conservative caucus for a sex scandal. So not exactly the most credible source in the world. And we've heard from plenty of credible sources in the past that everything was going to be banned after this mass shooting or that mass shooting or whatever. Hasn't happened yet. So we'll see what happens at this conference that supposedly the Prime Minister of New Zealand is going to be at, even though no one has been able to confirm that at all. But the reason everyone's shitting a brick about this is, the reason that this is actually still on the table, rather than basically having been shot down completely, is because everyone is making this order in council about the guns and not about political interference. Ralph Goodale has spent the last year telling people that Parliament, that council, deeming a firearm a certain way, rather than either the RCMP or Parliament, that is political interference. The Liberals have said this for more than a year now, trying to get this bill passed. So by their own admission, this order in council is political interference. They're currently embroiled in 2 scandals where they are accused of politically interfering with a criminal trial, SNC Lavalin and Mark Norman. If we were pushing this the right way, if gun rights groups, if the Conservative Party, if whoever was pushing this the right way, they wouldn't even bother really talking about the guns on this. They would talk about the fact that it's political interference.
If I can just sweep your milk crate here for a second.
Yeah.
Who's going to have the ability to reclassify firearms afterwards? I know that after Bill C-71, it's one way, which means you can add more restricted. You can never take them out. Who will be able to do it afterwards? RCMP or order in council?
Order in council that's not giving the RCMP any new abilities to prohibit things beyond what they already have. It will still have to be done through an order in council. Everyone who goes and says the RCMP is going to ban everything, the RCMP does not have the power to ban everything any more than they've already had. It doesn't give them the ability.
Well, I mean, they have a little bit because I mean, right now they ban the Blaze 47 based on interpretation.
the RCMP
Or Beowulf
classifies new
bags.
firearms that come into the country, and every so often they look at an old gun like the CZ58 and go, well, fuck this, we don't like it anymore. So it's not giving them any new powers they don't already have. Oh, Crover just dropped. But yeah, it's not giving the RCMP any new powers to ban things that they don't already have. Parliament will still maintain the ability to order in council prohibit firearms. Theoretically, the RCMP's classification of firearms still has to follow the existing rules. Now, we can, like, there's the debate about the Swiss arms and the CZ and why they were let in the country, and then suddenly 10 years fucking later, they decided that they're not allowed anymore. That still, with the way they worded it, follows in line with existing legislation.
And
So
I mean,
that's the thing.
it makes sense. Like, if you were to follow the absolute letter of the law, the 858s that they're banning were converted autos. They were converted at the factory with like a method that means that they would never ever be able to go semi-auto again without like a machine shop. But they
Full
did
auto.
follow the letter of the law, and the same thing with the Swiss arms. Those
Swiss
were
arms-
converted autos as well.
No, they didn't. They banned the Swiss arms as a variant of the SIG 550. They didn't ban them as converted autos because they
there
found
we go.
some samples of them that were converted autos, and they found some samples that weren't. But they decided upon reanalyzing both samples that they were just going to deem this a variant of the SIG 550, which is banned by name. So that's why that one got banned. So the RCMP were following existing legislation, and they still have to follow existing legislation on how to classify firearms. The only people who can just take an existing gun for a completely arbitrary reason and say this is banned now is still council, which is political interference. And that's what we should be hammering with this, is political interference. Because if we hammered that up till this point, the OIC would be fucking radioactive for the Liberals. With them embroiled in 2 scandals about political interference, they don't want another one to pop up. And that would be the best way to do this, is to just be you're politically interfering in firearms classification, something you've said you're going to stop people from doing for a year. Just like you were doing with SNC Lavalin and just like you were doing with Mark Norman, and they wouldn't want to touch that anymore.
I mean, I don't know if calling the Liberals hypocrites is really going to do much for us right now. They don't seem to shy away from that very much.
Which is why in October we have to vote for Andrew Scheer and kick Justin Trudeau the fuck out of Parliament.
Yeah.
Someone is
vote in
asking
the milk
in the
drinkers.
side here, can they actually come and take all your non-restricted firearms? Theoretically, yes, they can do that even now. Like, with the amount of fear-mongering that's going on around about this, it's a little bit fucking ridiculous, because people are acting like it's going to be what's happening in New Zealand, where the police are using extrajudicial powers to bust into people's houses without a warrant and just take all the guns that they can find, rip the place up, point guns at their children, which is happening in New Zealand. There's been documented cases of the cops pointing guns at 12-year-old kids while they go break into someone's house without a warrant and take all their guns. It's not going to happen here. Such extrajudicial powers have not been given to the police. They're not likely to be given to the police. There's no justification for them to be. So you're not going to have to worry about the cops busting down your door, taking all your guns, and shooting your dog. What's the most likely to end up happening with this, if they do go after the AR-15, which is probably the only thing they're really going to go after with this for logistical reasons, they're just going to issue you a new license that says 12.9, and they're going to issue you a new registration certificate for your AR that says this is now a prohibited firearm.
And we buy modern sporters and SLRs instead.
Exactly, because they're not likely to go after the non-restricted guns because it's logistically too difficult and because there's going to be far too much backlash. They can't ban all semi-automatics like this. There would be far too much resistance to it, and there's at least 4 million of them in the country. They're not going to find all of them. They're going to be met with abhorrent non-compliance, and to be quite frank, some of the discussion at some points in the gun community is at the point of armed non-compliance in the event of a massive ban like that. They're going to try chipping away slowly at things that they can chip away at, which is going to be, they're going to start with the AR here, because there's only about, 80,000 of them in the country, according to recent RCMP statistics, and they're going to grandfather them. So they're hoping that the grandfathering isn't going to lead to as big of a backlash. Then they're going to probably run on an election promise of banning handguns, which they probably can't do through order in council since handguns are defined as restricted in the criminal code, they probably have to amend the criminal code to be able to do that. So they're going to probably run on an election platform of banning those and probably banning mag-fed semi-automatics through Parliament incrementally, going kind of the way New Zealand is now. And they're going to go for handguns first because, again, they're all registered. There's fewer of them, and it's an easier target for them to go after compared to non-restricted semi-automatic firearms, which were actually the most common kind of action in the old gun registry. At the time, there was 2.7 million of them registered versus, I think, 2.2 million pump actions. So what we're seeing is the start of more slippery slope that started in 1993. You could argue it started in 1979 with the banning of automatics, but it's not likely they're going to ban every semi-automatic or even every mag-fed semi-automatic. They're going to go for the AR because it's easy, it's low-hanging fruit, and it won't take much effort to get things going.
Have you mentioned pistols?
I did mention pistols. I don't think they're going to do that until the election, and logistically, pistols are harder to do through an order in council because they're defined as restricted explicitly in the criminal code, not through the existing prescription regulations. The criminal code defines handguns as restricted firearms. So they would have to amend the criminal code there, realistically, to be able to prohibit pistols. And they don't have enough time to do that before the election. So that'll probably be an election promise from the Liberals, is going to be banning handguns.
One of the posts that interested me the most this week was by a fella from England who posted his assessment of the situation and applied to our situation what he'd experienced in the British Isles. And it was interesting because the similarities are there. And while we're not going to see potentially something like what happened in New Zealand, it does point more towards the direction of Britain.
When you look at what happened in England and when you look at what happened in New Zealand is following England, and it's going to continue to. When you look at what happened in England, I think their first mass shooting was the Hungerford Massacre, I think in '86. And that was when they banned semi-automatic rifles, is because the guy used a semi-automatic AK to kill a bunch of people in his neighborhood. Then in '96, you had the Dunblane Massacre in Scotland, where a guy took his pistols and shot up a school in Scotland, so they banned handguns. Then in 2010, there was a shootings in Cumbria, where a guy took a bolt-action .22 and a double-barrel shotgun and killed more than a dozen people. What was left to ban at that point? You've got two of the most innocuous hunting firearms imaginable, and you still had a mass shooting. Those have been the only three major mass shootings in England. If anything, that last one proves that banning guns doesn't stop these from happening. But when you look at what's going on in New Zealand especially, New Zealand is following the exact example England did back in '86, just delayed. They had a mass shooting with an assault weapon. Now they're going after semi-automatic firearms. They're going to ban those. Their next mass shooting, because there will be another, it's going to be committed with handguns. They're going to ban handguns. Then you're going to see exactly like England, their next mass shooting is going to be committed with innocuous hunting firearms, and they're going to be standing there going, well, fuck, we've done everything we can. I guess they're not going to admit that they were wrong, but they're going to be standing there with their fucking dicks in their hands, not able to do anything now because there'll be a demonstration there that banning guns doesn't stop mass shootings, nor does it stop mass murder in general.
Too bad I don't own any guns except my restricteds.
No, there's even the post not too long ago about a cop in Winnipeg, I believe, that said, straight up, the gun ban isn't going to be effective. It's targeting.
And he made the same example we've been making all along. It's like criminals are going to criminal. Methamphetamine is still a drug, even though it's illegal.
That's being also said by the head of the Toronto Police Union. So despite all of the bullshit coming from the mayor of this fucking city, the police union head has been saying these gun bans aren't going to do shit. Stop targeting law-abiding citizens.
Yeah, criminals are going to be criminals regardless.
Especially when we have the land border with the largest producer of firearms and largest owner of firearms in the fucking world. And it's largely unprotected, with several well-known points of entry for illicit substances that are not monitored appropriately. So you ban us from having handguns, it's not going to solve anything. Gang shootings are still going to fucking happen on the streets of Toronto here. It's not going to fucking do anything.
Not gonna do a goddamn thing. But
And then, of course,
they are still gonna try.
Yep. Oh yeah. And of course, this talk of the AR ban has turned Bill Blair into the greatest AR salesman in Canadian history.
I would love to know what the numbers are. I would love to know. I mean, True North Arms somehow scrounged up like 300. Who knows where the fuck made AR lowers, and they're selling them for like, oh, actually, it's a receiver set for like $160.
I very much debated doing that. I remember I was going to buy another AR, and then
that was a good deal. An upper and lower for the price that they're selling. That's a good deal. The thing is, like, there are no super crappy AR upper and lowers you can get. What, like Norinco? Norinco's not even that bad. What could it be? Some American, maybe like Freedom or what was it, Palmetto State or something like that?
No, they already sell PSA. I have a Poverty Pony, and then they don't sell them under no name brand or whatever the fuck they're calling, like the mystery box shit. But Arrows from Saskatoon Gunworks, gone. Calgary Shooting Center, gone. Profit River, gone. Iron Guns, gone.
Tenda, gone.
Gone. Reliable, gone.
I remember the numbers. They said there were 66,000 ARs in private hands, and I think it was 19,000 in the hands of businesses. I'm willing to bet there's less than 10,000 ARs in the hands of businesses after this whole scare happened. It's only been about 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Easy.
Well, you go to fucking nearly every single gun shop that sells ARs. Practically every single one is fucking sold out now.
Cabela's still selling MMP2 Sports if anybody's looking.
Yep.
Cabela's got to be deep.
Mm-hmm. Cabela's just got piles of those fucking things.
FOCs said that they've been selling ARs like fucking crazy since this whole shit happened.
TNA sent an email today saying they're not answering any calls or emails because they're literally just getting through all the registration paperwork.
Yeah. And SFRC sold out of basically their entire stock. Got an email about that.
They carry a lot of shit at SFRC. Like, they have a lot of stock.
Oh wait, no, it's the Dymaco C8 uppers that were out of stock. I had to look at my email.
Because I know Nordic Marksman got fucking lowers from Colt Canada Dymaco, and they were selling those for I think they were selling those for pretty cheap actually too.
I think $250. I want to say.
I think those are normally like $3 something. So for what they are, they're cheap, but they're still overpriced.
I debated one of those because it was FDE and green's my favorite color. Or OD green, I mean. Fuck, FDE is poop.
Flat dark earth.
Yeah,
it's peanut butter.
Runny shit colored.
But yeah, if you don't already have an AR-15, go buy one.
Seriously, like, to go back to what Adriel said earlier, there are no bad AR lowers. You're gonna get a lower that you can potentially have more difficulties than others putting together. That at some point, the finish might wear off. At some point, something's gonna snap. And even possible, it's gonna brick itself sooner than others, but it will work. It will work, and you will have a gun registered to your name.
I mean, quite frankly, you'd have to fuck it up real bad, I think, for it to do any of that. Like, I had a Chinese AR, and my dad still does. Like, they're functional, they're in spec, they work great.
More or less. The forend can be a little bit hard to get like an add-on Magpul one, but
yeah, I mean, I didn't. Whatever. I got a quad rail forend on mine when I had it, anyways, and that's what I wanted from it. So I wasn't planning on replacing that. And the bayonet lugs on the Norincos are in spec. I have a bayonet; it fits.
I mean, yeah, for our listeners, I mean that True North Arms upper and lower. Like, okay, let's say you buy it, you panic buy it. It's what was the price on it again?
$179 or something like that.
$179. Okay, just sit on that. Just sit on that for a couple of weeks. If nothing happens, you can turn around and sell it. You'll lose $20 on the sale. Who cares? But if something happens, well, you'll have an upper and lower, and you'll have the magical ProHab license, and you'll be part of the cool kids group. That's all I got to say about that.
Where do they even have these on their website?
I guess I could link them. Where the fuck's my email?
Going through their website trying to find these, but
They might be sold out.
they have a mystery AR stripped up at home. I can go through my email.
Where's my trash can? True North Arms, no. Okay, found them. Please be sold out. I would love. Yep, they're sold out.
So that was how many? 300 that they brought in?
375 receiver sets.
God. Bill
2
Blair,
days.
best AR
In 2
salesperson
days
ever.
they sold. 2 days they sold 375 pieces of hardware.
It
How much
was
is
within the day
probably.
because it was posted on the sub, and I went to look at it, and it was basically, I think, within 12 hours of it being posted on the sub that they were.
Bill Blair just gave True North Arms $65,000.
Yep.
They had no lowers at all. None.
Thanks, Bill.
Well, should
No
have started a gun
receiver
shop.
sets. They're complete. They're full firearms. All they have left are BCL 102s.
not even the talk of a ban wants people buying BCL. Oh fuck. That is hilarious. That is actually hilarious. Yes, Red Viking. Rod from Civil Advantage used a Norinco CQA AR until his gas port eroded and was sending pieces of jacket into his action. I remember that video because it took him like 2 months to diagnose what the fuck the problem was.
Just throw another barrel on. But I think he retired that one.
Probably. I mean, it's a fucking Norinco AR. You can't really cry over that thing.
Well, you could just get a new barrel for it. Like there's $100 barrels. You can get an AR barrel for $100. Pop it on there, boom, good to go again. Back up and running.
Exactly. I mean, those things underneath their carry handle's a rail. Take the carry handle off, mount a fucking red dot on it. You don't even need to get at what barrel with the front sight. It'd probably be better if you didn't, if you got a red dot.
Yeah. I'm really that's one of the things that I want to do is I want to swap out the 10.5-inch barrel on my AR for a 14.5-inch and then put a fake can on it, just so that I have a little more barrel length and a little more operator looks.
Could have gone with 7.5.
Did you we were talking with Elixir about this, Adriel. They True North Arms had a 14.5-inch barrel with a pistol length gas system.
Yeah, I have a 16-inch one with a carbine length gas system.
Yeah, no, but like the so it's basically like a pencil profile barrel because the fucking gas port is 4 inches from the fucking chamber.
It'd be reliable. It'd probably be vicious as heck on the action.
Have you seen the gas tubes for pistol ARs?
No, I haven't messed with.
They're actually curled around the barrel like 3 or 4 times to give them more dwell time.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I've seen
I'm
those,
guessing they must be the same length as a carbine system or something. Just based on the length of the gas tube that's wrapped around the barrel like 4 times.
We get a piston on a pistol length gas system.
Ooh. Well, they sell those Draco pistols. That's basically what that is. In the States, the AK Draco pistols.
Even better, get the one AR barrel that's like this long. It's literally just a chamber because it's a rifle you're putting it on. It's not prohibited. Minimum barrel length only applies to pistols. So if you put that barrel on a rifle, it's not illegal.
Nope. No, what I want is I want a restricted shotgun. I want a restricted 8.5-inch Grizzly with this fucking thing mounted on it. Just
There was a dude on the sub who got into an annoying argument with the RCMP that he just gave up on. He tried to get that registered as a short-barreled shotgun, and they insisted that he register it as a pistol.
Yeah, Muz, I know him. He's on IRC all the time.
And that's the thing, is you can't unregister that now. That's why I'm pretty sure that's why they did it, is because you cannot get that unregistered. It's once a pistol, always a pistol. That gun will forever be a pistol now.
Yeah, my buddy ran across that with an XCR pistol. It was a pistol lower, and he thought he could just get the longer barrel on it and use it, but no dice.
Well, I guess that's why there's XCR pistol mags, right?
Someone had to bring him into the country.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck it.
Same with the LAR pistols. Those are pistols.
To Trev8282 in the side chat, we addressed this. Wherever you heard a rumor of a ban of every single firearm, that's not happening.
Yeah, it's logistically basically just not fucking possible without people seriously getting hurt.
Yeah, that would be.
I'm sure people in New Zealand said the same thing.
Even there, it's not a full firearms ban. This guy's talking about buying a Mossberg shotgun.
Oh,
I can't think of any country on this planet except maybe North Korea.
Australia.
Australia.
Yeah.
I didn't actually think about that. Pump action shotguns are illegal in Australia. Fuck.
Booyah!
Two countries. Australia
Hey, what
and North Korea.
what country do they hold up in high regard for their gun laws? Oh, Australia? Oof.
I mean, you can even buy that shotgun in fucking Japan, and it's also held up for its ridiculously high regarded gun laws. You can buy a semi-auto in Japan. I actually didn't realize this until I looked.
What, like a semi-auto fucking FUD shotgun or something?
You can buy a semi-auto rifle. I saw a Browning bar for sale on a Japanese gun site once.
Oh, fuck.
That surprised me because I thought semi-auto
That's like a
rifles were just
Gucci
no-go,
rifle.
but-
Was that when you were on the dark web?
Yeah, searching for girl panties.
Oh, you can just go get those in vending.
Yeah, just go to the vending machine in Akihabara.
You bought as many as they would allow you back through duty free, right?
No, I didn't find it, unfortunately.
You look for it though.
No, I actually I didn't.
To
To be serious, no, I didn't. I'm not gonna buy used fucking panties.
okay, we're slowly circling the drain and we're speeding up quickly.
Yeah.
There has been nothing but fucking post about this bullshit. So much so that yesterday I took the decision to just say straight up, all of this fucking ban talk post and questions and shit, just go to the newbie thread because
Thank you.
yeah,
Tired of hearing of it.
yeah, that was just annoying as fuck. Like, and if you want to get an idea of just how fucking many of these things there are, go to my profile and look at my comments. I would say that on a day, I would probably send 30 people that in that way, at least.
Yeah,
It's-
there was 6 in the last hour or 3 hours.
Do the math, folks. Do the math. That's a lot of fucking posts that I just send over
I've
there.
seen this happen before. I don't remember when the last time this happened, but I remember this happened before with something, and people just like shat all over the sub with a whole bunch of crap about it, and we're just like,
Oh, we
It
did
happens
too.
every
Like
6 fucking months.
go back 12 actually, and we were wearing tinfoil hats on this show.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, Adriel sent me the link to that video, and we weren't that off, really. We made some wild speculations of like full
Wild
firearm
speculations.
bans and
Yeah.
shit, and they just kind of ended up going for like low hanging fruit ARs and pistols.
Well, they haven't even done that yet.
Yeah. But I mean, I have the tinfoil over there if you want to go grab it.
But do you have your leopard print shotgun in your bathrobe?
That was a Hawaiian shirt, actually, not a bathrobe. But yes, I did have the shotgun. Oh, by the way, actually, no, I don't have a shotgun. This with a 14-inch barrel 870 is like 25 inches. So it's like,
How are you out of 870s? I thought you had like 5 of them still.
no, I don't own any non-restricted. Is what I'm saying.
All right.
Yeah, nobody owns guns in this house. Just a couple of restricted guns.
I sold all my guns to Mike from Canmore while I was canoeing on Lake Boating Accident.
I hate that fucking lake. For top post of the week, it's just a fucking shit post.
What actually is it? I haven't even looked.
I'm double checking. It's low hanging fruit.
It's a
where?
warning from a UK shooter, and it's also now the top post in the entire sub.
Oh, is it? Good.
Yep. And the second is a Canadian-made Bren gun.
That was fucking cool. Wait, how is it the top post of the? It's not the top post of the sub.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
What? Oh, the past month all time. Never mind. Well, there it is.
It's too hot to be podcasting.
Yep. We're going to very quickly go to after show, and
I mean, it's only fucking 14 degrees here.
All right.
yeah,
Fucking.
it's actually nice here in Calgary. It's a little smoky. That's about
probably
it.
because Ontario's not on fire right now.
No, Alberta is on fire, and BC is starting to get on fire,
Alberta's
but nobody
always
cares
on
about BC.
fire.
Well, no, it's a toss up between who starts first, Alberta or BC catching on fire.
I mean,
and
if Alberta's not on fire, it's minus 40. So
Wasn't it BC that started first this year? There's been some ongoing ones for a while.
well, not
No,
obscenely
Northern
large
Alberta.
ones. Not
Northern Alberta's
obscene,
been
like
burning.
there might have been smaller ones, but not obscenely large ones. Like fucking, is it high level?
yeah,
Yeah, high level. High level might be gone next week. Nobody knows.
Well,
it'll be probably about as gone as what was that other one that burnt Fort Mac?
Fort McMurray, and there was another one a couple of years before that too. I can't remember. Anyways, after show. Thank you for watching.
That was
Speculate.
short.
Go buy ARs. If you see them on stock, buy them. 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 Good night, everybody. Say goodbye, everybody.
Later.
Goodbye, everybody. How long is this show?
Not